and screen Twitter names. If we didn't make that list, I'm going to be really upset.
So
I didn't make it.
Person I didn't make it either, but you know who did make the list? And not once, but twice. She's been put on there. Our very own Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Yay!
There she is. She's been on there twice.
How is she on it twice and I'm on nuns?
The funniest part is that Brianna Wu, and I don't know if you guys know who this person is, but this is this is like one of those crazy, like just crazy people that
they supported Keffels, right? Like
yeah.
For children or helping doing that.
Yeah, and she's like involved in other stupid shit. Anyways, she apparently was on there, and she's like, "Hey, quick question. I'm for minors transitioning, for adults transitioning. I've talked at length about the need for trans civil rights to be a Democratic Party priority. I was one of the people that helped the Leah Alcorn story go national. I've hired trans people, done ads encouraging trans civil rights to pass, spoken at LGBTQ conferences on trans issues for trans sex work. I support MB people. I have a position on trans equality and would be considered extremely extreme by most of America. Do you think that by including me for not having the absolute maximum view on trans issues, you're watering down the terms and making it harder to call out serious transphobes?" So she was on the list.
Wow. What is the absolute maximum view on trans issues? I'm so curious.
I have no idea.
That you should be able to transition kids in the womb because they're giving you a signal. That's
trans at birth.
Okay. I'm gonna look your Twitter thing up on this. Okay,
I don't know.
What are you
this
at,
is like,
Leonarda?
Leonarda _.
Like I appreciate the fact that they're getting criticism from their own side. But with that said, that post was giving pick me. It was like, please don't put me on the list. Please. I suck dicks. Please. I suck rainbow dicks all day. I don't deserve to be on that list.
Rainbow dicks.
I'm for splitting your dick inside out. Don't put me on the list.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Insane.
Oh my God.
I'm growing one on my arm right now.
I mean, that's the insanity. They urge their position as the position of compassion, and you're literally mutilating people.
Yeah, you're pro sterilization.
People.
Wow.
Yeah. Children.
Well, children, people too, though. I don't give a fuck. I'm not. Oh, adults can do what they want. No, they can't, because we're all affected by it, and kids see it. We can't. I disagree with that.
It's such a short term.
I'm the absolute pro max of anti-trans, so I should be on that fucking list.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a short-term thrill, and people now are seeing how there are like urinary tract issues. People are like struggling with their health down the line, and
I can't imagine, because I hate a UTI.
Like, what? Just you were part of a fucking club, you psycho.
Yeah.
How they're spitting out hairballs out of their pussy, and
hairballs?
They're still doing surgeries. Yeah, trans people, when they get their dicks inverted, sorry for being graphic, but that's what it is. They grow hair because, penis has hair on it. So they grow hair inside their manginas, and then the hairballs come out and they get infections, and it smells really bad, apparently.
Hairballs?
There are hairballs. Yes, like pussy hairballs.
But also, can we go back to the furry dick? What?
Yeah, because hair can grow on penises. Like, how like on the base. Sorry for being graphic, but
I'm
be graphic.
Like,
be more graphic.
But there's pubes on the base, so when they invert it, sometimes the manginas can get hairballs inside, and it causes infection with pus. And so they have to dilate by putting an object in them to keep the hole that's pus and infected open.
I think you have to do that no matter what. If you turn it
like a really bad ingrown.
I like that this is now a medical show, because I want to show people that we have range.
I have my doctorate.
So. Why are they still doing these surgeries? Like, you don't have the technology to do this. How many people suffer? Most people are suffering really bad from those surgeries. Like, how is that ethical? If we had the science for it, maybe you can make the argument. But this
Leonarda,
is like
you're not on here.
Damn it.
See, I don't trust the whole thing.
I have to try harder, dude.
We need to sign a petition to get her on there, guys. Let's all sign and get her on
I
there.
can't believe
Get
Anna's
on
on
this
there
list
twice.
now.
This person needs to do their research.
That's too
And
funny.
people said that the surgery, by the way, is so bad. They'll post on Reddit about it because that's where you post about being a trans. And anyway, they'll post about it and say how bad the pain is, and it's so bad that it makes them want to log out of life.
Kill
So it's not
themselves.
a
Yeah.
real thing.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's why I was like, Joseph Mangala is weeping with envy from his grave right now at all this shit going on. Like,
Yeah.
it's wild that they're just going with this. Like, I know trans people, I've known them for over a decade, and they would never get bottom surgery. That was never even in their mind because it's so bad. Like, you
It should
lose
heal.
feeling, and it's just not a good thing to do. And now they're like pushing them to do it. And I'm like, I just don't understand anything going on anymore.
Yeah, you're not serious unless you're a science experiment.
If they
Well,
had the
it's the
technology,
practice
then
of
maybe, but
medicine.
like the fact that this is legal and the doctors are keeping their licenses and making
Yeah.
money off of it is actually crazy because you would never see this when it comes to things like organ donation. You have to give away your organs for free, guys. It's illegal to sell them for you to make profit off of it. You're not allowed to do that. But what you are allowed to do is invert your penis, even though we don't have the technology to actually safely do it in terms of not getting these serious infections, horrible aftermath, hairy pus balls coming out. Like, come
Yeah.
on. The pain, people getting depression afterwards, countless posts, people detransitioning afterwards.
If an adult wants to invert their penis,
God bless.
Let-
Do it with
let-
your own
God
money that,
bless,
that
yes,
you
right.
saved up from working a job.
Yeah,
No
I-
way.
I'm gonna launch a campaign against that too. I'm like, I don't give a shit. No,
Do it. Don't
we
ask.
don't let people, like we don't let people like just freely do, like we make drugs illegal, right? It's like why do
Exactly.
we do that? Because you become
Yeah.
everybody's problem. That's the thing. Like that used to be recognized as you have a mental disorder, and the fact that somehow it became a campaign to show how accepting and loving you are
Yeah.
is just to me a complete inversion. Like it's not accepting and loving.
No pun intended.
Mhm.
Inversion. You see what I did there?
Right. And aren't they looking to didn't they decriminalize drugs in Portland, and now they're looking to or they have already recriminalized hard drugs.
Yeah, because it
they're like,
wasn't the answer.
it was a bad move.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it would be terrible if I felt like I were a dude, and I know that Dylan Mulvaney is my identical twin sister. If I felt like I was growing up and like I am not in the right body, that would be terrible. And I think that that does happen. But you have to really seriously be an adult to chop your dick off and have pus balls coming
But
out.
just because you
like, yeah, you can't. I think the children give it a minute. We don't need them. We don't need. We don't need the preschool teacher asking your son if he wants a manicure. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't.
You know what?
need to be-
I respect people like Buck Angel who put in serious time and effort to actually pass as a man, to do the workouts necessary, to do the hormones necessary, and actually like get your mind as right as it can be. And I respect people like Blair White. Same thing. I don't respect these dudes who think they can just go to TJ Maxx and buy one skirt. It's like, no. You want to be a woman? Let's see you put in hours and hours every day into figuring out your hair, makeup, clothes, and you better pass, or just the way that actual women have to do to get.
Just playing devil's advocate here, or you could take all that time and put it into figuring out what the fuck is wrong with you that you can't accept the physical body that you're in, and maybe heal and recover and figure out how to like make peace with this. You know what? I identify as a size 4, but I had to come to terms with the fact that my ass will never fit in one of those pants and be okay with it. I'm not going to chop off my ass muscles so they could get in a size 4. I just started dating guys of a different persuasion.
Ooh.
Oh, just kidding. But I just said, you're not going to be a size 4, bitch. It's not you. You're not built for it. What am I going to do? Kill myself for it? No.
You
right.
No, you have a point.
But like,
And
what kind
honestly,
of doctor
I
agrees
used
to that? like the doctor is the one that's agreeing to it, and they should be like figuring out what else is wrong with you, right?
Well, they're just as
and
psyoped. They're just as psyoped as we are, and they have a medical
Hippocratic
system.
oath.
Well, they have a
Yeah.
medical system that threatens for them to lose their license, lose their practice. If that's what the narrative is saying, and you go, you want to hold on to this, you go, you're being archaic, doctor, you're being transphobic, and you're gone. And they make money off of going with the tide. So how many of them are really going to stand against it?
Yeah, that's
Back
when
in
you
the
have to.
day-
Those are two different things. Those are the principle of the medical field, and then the principles at home. Like what values are we being presented with that have fuck this? People are gonna hate me for that. I guess like they fucked up. They there's something not connecting there that they feel a void in, that they were lacked in their raising. So whatever, if you're home, there's something wrong there, and like you may have mommy issues, you may have daddy issues, you may have both, and that could drive you.
You
to have
may be
this
possessed by a
supposed to be a
demon.
problem.
We don't know.
Right. You need to be willing to go to those places and ask those questions and try to figure that out instead of just like doing whatever you're being pushed. This is being pushed down
Right.
these kids' throat. This isn't just like
Nat,
out of nowhere. This is like a
Ellen
you
Page,
should
and you were
do this.
fucking molested in Hollywood. Maybe we should tackle that issue before transing someone.
I believe Ellen Page. Look, she looks like a twink. She looks hot now. Like honestly, like I believe Ellen Page. Like I believe that she
Hot
was
to
like,
who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
other.
Who wants to fuck that?
Well,
F's in the
This
chat
is
if you're
dying.
attracted to Elliot Page or Ellen. Well, Elliot,
right.
yeah.
I mean, I think she's more of a. I think she looks good, and I think she seems comfortable. Why would you go through?
I think
it
Elliot
other
Page
than-
is the worst example of the trans person because like Elliot looks so depressed. Like I've never seen a trans person look so depressed. And
True.
She's
You don't
in,
see
but
you
that's
don't
it.
see them
Where-
This is
smile
on
anymore.
heroin.
Where I'm
Yeah.
coming from is I can't imagine, especially being rich and famous in the public eye. Look at Caitlyn Jenner, okay? He was a fucking why at 60 years old would he go and do that? I mean,
bored.
is it mental illness or some bored?
Too many
Maybe,
women
but
around
like
him.
maybe there's
Not enough
something
male
that like I
friends.
need to do it.
Because
That
Kris
I'm
Jenner
alright
basically cut his dick off years ago, so now he's just following that. Like, fuck it.
He gave it to Kris Jenner.
he gave it to Kris Jenner. See, the thing is with this is that I have a hard time wanting to kind of like, pile on people who do have gender dysphoria because I mean there is a very small percentage of people that do have that,
That's
and that
what I'm
does
talking
suck.
about. There's a very
Like-
small percentage, right? And that must be fucking terrible.
And I met one. Like I met one the other day, and we had a really, really great conversation. That wasn't the other day, it was like last year. And we had a really great conversation, and it was like fantastic, like just to get to know this person and like where they're coming from. And they were against like this what's going on with the kids. They're like, and this person was like well within their 30s and was like, this is something I just feel like I have to do for myself now, and like whatever. And they were gonna go get on hormones and stuff like that. And I feel like a person like that that's done their research and knows and like doesn't want to like shove it in other people's face. That's not my battle. Like I'm not
That's a
gonna go and
different
fight.
thing,
That's a
right.
different like like this person has clearly decided what they want to do, and they have every right to do it. I mean, it's like people do all sorts of things I don't agree with all the time. I don't like drinking, and people drink all the time. It's not something that I can do, but I think alcohol destroys lives. I really do. I honestly think that alcohol destroys lives every day. You're killing your kidney, you're killing your health. People have died. I mean,
It's
homes have
literally a
been
level
wrecked.
1 carcinogen.
Literally, and it's
We don't
fine, and it's
say
socially
it's
acceptable to do it, and it's and I don't judge anyone who wants to do it, but
It's just White
like-
Claw. I swear. I know I'm the only one. It's
in
not
moderation.
alcohol. It's fine.
Cutting off your dick is not moderation. Like,
exactly, yeah, cutting off your dick is definitely not moderation.
I'm
Yeah.
very live and let live. And I feel like if you are an adult and you really feel like you need to do that, and you've been through all of the therapy and whatever the hoops you have to jump through to do it, I feel like you should be able to. But
You don't need to
With
jump
the
through hoops
kids,
anymore.
yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like back
Yeah.
in the day, you had to, but nowadays, like Lauren Southern did something about this like years ago. This is one of her
Yeah.
first stunts where she in Canada would just put a baseball cap on with her hair tucked inside and they wrote male on her ID. She was legally a male from trolling and putting a baseball cap on. You don't have to do anything to get that nowadays, even if you're a kid.
No, that's why they should not
And
have
God forbid you
gender
try to stop
affirming
it.
therapists. You're supposed to be talking to them and straightening things out, not just affirming everything they say. Like, you shouldn't have that in your name as a therapist. You're not affirming anything. Like, that's weird. You're just going to be like, yeah, okay. Like, no, you're not supposed to be affirming them. You're supposed to help them, really help them. And they're not. They're just like, yeah, okay, you are. So they get more money. And it's fucked up.
And then you take those steps back. It's like step one, make them question. Make them question their thing. And look
They
at all
don't.
the fucking things that are on Netflix right now. These shows that like are like men kissing men. And it's like, you don't need to show children this. You're making them
No.
question
Sure
things
they do.
shouldn't be
Sure they do.
questioning.
They're trying to indoctrinate them. Look,
Exactly.
see, I'm gonna stand on
Now
this.
they get the surgery. Like, I'm just, that's a big
I will be the last person standing on this, but I think no, there's no such thing as gender affirming care. If a person is suffering from gender dysphoria, it does not mean we have to fucking stone them. That's not what I'm saying. But if you agree that doing a gender transitioning surgery at the end of the day is on the whole harmful and detrimental because you are in fact destroying an intact human body, then it doesn't matter if the person is 12, 35, 65. It doesn't matter. You
Leonarda,
are
I'm against
harming.
plastic surgery on yourself. Like, I'm against getting nose jobs. So like
I'm
let
with
alone
you.
like going to
Yeah.
get, you know what
So
I mean? Like,
my thing
no.
is, we have confused what compassion really is. Compassion is not affirming somebody's mental illness. Schizophrenics think they're talking to people. They might be talking to demons. It doesn't mean we should encourage them to do what those voices are telling them because they really feel that if they don't do it, they're not going to have peace. That's not the way.
Yeah.
True.
No, it's a really fine line because it's
I have
like,
a very dangerous question.
Ask it.
Ooh.
Please.
It's very dangerous.
Is it about
Have you
Hitler?
guys ever known or met a trans person that was
Yes.
not in some form sexually abused?
That I don't know.
I knew a trans person, but the first trans person I ever met was in my improv group in like
Of course.
2006 or 7, and I don't actually know if they were or weren't. So
Here's another dangerous question. Have you ever met a gay person who wasn't sexually molested as a child?
Yes, my brother,
Yes.
I know someone.
boyfriend, Jay. Yes, they.
Okay, your
100%.
brother?
They were never sexually molested at all. They're perfectly happy. Yeah, not a
That's not true,
not a
Keanu.
sexual
I
molestation in sight. Yes.
I
But it's
touched your
also what you
brother.
were
I touched
exposed
him.
to.
Leonarda, how dare you? Rocco, are you all right? No, I'm just teasing.
Keanu, were they exposed to
I was
rhinestones
his
at a
8th
young
grade
age?
teacher.
Oh my God, no. That is no.
I said, get over here and show me your junk, son.
Your child.
Venti, to answer your question, I've known a few trans people, and as far as I know, no, they were not sexually molested. At least they didn't, like, we weren't close enough for them to confide that in me. But so the answer is no.
Here's the thing for me. I watched Blair White's video where she was basically interviewed by a therapist or something, and she was kind of going over her past and being trans and everything. And she's like the most reasonable trans person everyone knows, right? Like, she's the first person that comes up when anyone says, like, can you name one rational trans
She's your
person?
neighborhood trans. Yeah.
And even in her case, she made heavy implications that something happened to her. She didn't go into detail, but it was very, very heavily implied.
What did she say
So
that
if
made
even
it sound like that?
Oh, when she was talking about her male family member and like that she didn't want to talk about something that they did. It was very heavily implied, but like I think anyone watching would have drawn that conclusion. But if even she, the most rational trans person you know, something happened to them sexually, and also she did experience grape before. She went over that in her really early content. I've been watching her since she had 20,000 subs, so she went over that story before. And even she was touched. So I don't know. I feel like that says something. I think there's something there between like dissociating and coping with that trauma.
Yeah, Brittany's right in that because we were talking about the Quiet on Set And even a lot of people have trouble even voicing it, and they defend their abusers. It's really hard for them to even get past that. Like, address it and then say that it was a problem. Like, they'll be like, "Oh, no, it was no big deal." It's like, fine. And because a lot of times they blame themselves, the victim, self-victim blaming, like, I did that," you know? So, I don't think a lot of times you're gonna get somebody who just willfully will come out and say it. It's really hard, like, they are struggling with it, and a lot of times that shows through certain behaviors instead of actually talking about it. That's why you need to go
True.
to therapy. You need to get down to, like, why do I do this behavior? So, and some behaviors, there's a huge, we're humans, like, we're all over the place. So it's like,
Yeah.
is it drinking? Is it gambling? Is it
But how are they going to go to therapy when like the therapist, like my therapist started putting her pronouns in her bio? Like this was like that. This was like 6
I'm
years
a
ago.
new therapist?
Oh
Oh
no.
no! I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm done with you. I can't try. You don't have a good grip on reality.
At the
You're
doctor, when they
following
act
all
like
the other bullshit. Like,
I'm he,
touching
they,
your own
they're,
person.
what are your pronouns? I'm like, what am I supposed to say? I'm like, Z,
It's like
there?
office
I don't even
HR.
know. I'm like, I'm a
Yeah.
she.
Yeah, that's
normal.
that's an alarm bell for me too. Like if a therapist is like, give me your, like, I have pronouns now. Like I'd be like, okay, well, I have a new therapist now. Goodbye.
That's literally what I did. I was like, okay, you are mentally ill as well, and I have to go.